I'm sorry this took so long to come out, but we're here. Summer Chloe Showcase. This unit doesn't need an introduction, so let's jump right into what we're talking about. Wait, I forgot. Shout out to Vitamin. He's the one that allowed me to do the showcase. Now let's get into it. Summer Chloe's main thing is the fact that she is a crazy support unit that is able to constantly heal, thanks to this passive here. You have tons of support with the kit, being able to give yourself 100% stat res for the entire team with the art while also lowering the enemy's light res. Having a true art that arch gens and makes your healing stronger for the entire team. And then finally a super art that buffs up human units damage and all allies damage by a pretty insane amount. In terms of her equip slots, we have a 5-star physical, 5-star magic, and a 4-star magic. I highly recommend that you get Summer Chloe's 5-star true weapon as soon as you get this unit. Now, why exactly would you want her true weapon? What's the deal with it? It's because this true weapon gives you 100 arc gauge at the start of the quest, which is insanely good. It also gives you a stackable light res down, which is whatever, but the main thing is 100 arc gauge at the start of the quest, which kind of is a band-aid fix for one of the biggest things that sucks with Summer Chloe, and it's the fact that she has no innate arch gen. If you don't want to use this though, of course you can use stuff like True Izanagi to give you a lot of arch gen, or Ashura, or any other good burst arch gen item. For the 5-star heal, I would recommend going with Fina Devil Wings just to kind of help you out, but if you don't want to go with Fina Devil Wings, literally any other heal slot, or if you're running her on mono light, of course slot in that light relic tin cane. 4-star magic can be a multitude of different things, but the main thing is use something that's buffing up your damage or helping her. Angelus's Sweet and Saucy is a sleeper pick here since it does give her arc gauge as well. In terms of the crest slots on Summer Chloe, highly recommend you go with heal amount up and arc gauge up. Heal amount up will increase the amount of healing that of course she is doing for the entire team, and arc gauge up will of course help her out in getting into her true art faster, which you want that thing online as soon as possible. Here's some of Summer Chloe's animations here. Huge shout out to my man Vitamin for showing these off, and I'm gonna say a lot of Summer Chloe's animations are actually pretty cool. A lot of the summer units have a lot of personality to them, and Summer Chloe is no different. I personally really love the true art, just her throwing down like the firework things and then her just slicing through it. Her super art is nice, but it's mainly just what her super art is for her fire version, but now it's just her light version, so I don't really like the reuse of that, but I like everything else. I mean, pretty much the entire animation now, looking at it, is pretty much just reusing what she does in her fire version, just with a bit more of a twist on certain things. Animations, very cool. I like them. I'm gonna give them like a solid 6.5 out of 10. First team we wanted to show off here was actually a mono light team, featuring Sinki, Star God Lisa, Chloe, and Emperor. One thing I was actually insanely surprised about was the amount of healing that Chloe's able to provide for the team whenever she gets into that true art. Because right now, with Fina Devil Wings being active, plus Chloe, and then once we get her in that true art, she's healing for around 900 per tick, which is absolutely insane. Of course, I would have really preferred that was more percentage-based heal, but still really good. Another thing that I noticed too on this team is that since we have a very good amount of arch gen with everyone, with Star God Lisa, we have good support items, plus with Emperor, we have a lot of arch gen, right? Dude's freaking cracked. Chloe didn't take long to get into that true art, and then once she was in it, she was just off to the races. We're getting tons of healing, 960 per tick, and we're getting crazy amounts of arch gen. Everybody stacks on this team, and we're getting lots of damage up. One thing you'll see here is whenever we pop up with the super art with freaking Sinki just kills the boss because the bug's still in the game. I thought they got rid of it, but no. But lots of survivability. That's one thing that I love. As you see here, Chloe actually dealing the most damage. We're doing pretty good deeps. We have lots of recovery on the team, really good damage mitigation thanks to Sinki. Plus, whenever we finally get BF Emperor, we're going to get even more since he does have that defense slot, so we can really abuse a bunch of defense equips on the team as well. This is already looking pretty promising, but let's try something else. The next thing we went up against was the Specialty X Hyper from the Fate event. This one isn't super crazy, but the boss is actually a little tanky and can kill you if you're, don't have some damage mitigation or at least some type of healing. Same type of ordeal here. We're popping off with everybody, trying to get our equips and everything going as fast as possible. Once all those things are set in motion, then we're going to be popping off with the true art with Summer Chloe and hopefully going into that super art as soon as we can. We want that super art and true art up all the time if we can have it like that. And as you see here, it's kind of just like with this team specifically, mono light just kind of does its thing. And yeah, Chloe with the additional arc gauge, with the arch gen from Emperor, also the arch gen from Star God Lisa, plus the equip slots, it's just amazing. It's literally a match made in heaven in terms of how strong this team actually is. And it's wild because technically this is just going to get even better later on once we get the more updated light units. Of course, I can sit here and gosh over Summer Chloe for however long the remainder of this video is. I do have some gripes with Summer Chloe and a lot of things that I think she does well and a lot of things that I think she does really poorly. Some of the stuff she does well, of course, is the arch shinning, the healing, the damage up to the team, and the versatility she has as being a support unit. You can put her on any team in the game and she is going to work exponentially well. However, there are some big issues. Summer Chloe is a Type E Archshinner. Being a Type E Archshinner isn't bad, it's just the fact that it is an extremely competitive market, especially considering what we just came off of being Kill la Kill. Every single unconditional Archshinning effect that's from a crossover unit is Type E. Some of them have exceptions, but most unconditional Archshin effects from crossover units are Type E. And because of this, she has to compete with Hoka, which is undeniably the strongest character in the game at the current moment. Which sucks because it pretty much means that you're having to decide between using Hoka or using Chloe in a lot of different team comps. And unfortunately, Chloe loses on a lot of these situations. Unless you need a pure healer, which nowadays we really don't a lot of times, you won't really be turning to Chloe if you have that option available to you. So it's a really big hindrance when it comes to that. The disconnect when it comes to healers and just the current meta in Grand Summoners is that healing isn't necessarily required anymore. Back in the day, I mean like 2 years ago, healing was huge in the game. You need to have a really strong healer like Haruto, for an example, or Mako, so you can out-heal a lot of the damage that you are, of course, taking. In a lot of situations, even if you had a taunt tank, you would still use these characters because they were just so good as support units. However, as the game has gotten older and we have gotten better at playing the game, of course, and we've gotten better units, the meta has kind of evolved from that to now being, well, if you have a barrier tank like Shiro Emiya, for an example, or you have a taunt tank like Kirisame, Thetis, Volt LR. These characters are able to protect the team to the point to where you don't really need a healer. And if you needed to heal, you have items in the game that allow you to heal. Or sometimes certain characters, like Hoka for an example, can still provide you healing even though it's on a pretty restrictive timer. So pretty much what I'm getting at here is that healing isn't as much of a necessity as it once was. For an example, you can see this exact meta forming in one of the most recent challenge events that we got, which is Boundary of Time. In this exact setup, people are using Hoka over a character like Haruto or Mako or any of them because they don't need it. It's not needed. You have Kirisame. As long as Kirisame has his barrier up, that's all that matters. For us getting into the meta that we are currently in now, it makes it to where healing isn't a necessity anymore. But I don't want it to make it sound like healing is never going to be a necessity. There's definitely going to be times where healing is absolutely going to be required. There's going to be bosses that come out that negate barriers or go through barriers. And that's whenever healing will come through, which is unfortunately like really the only big negative that Summer Chloe has. Outside of that, she has all the positives of every single other support unit that has ever been released in Grand Summoners. The fact that she's going to be a timeless character. You're always going to be able to use this unit no matter what comes out. Support units, sure, they age, but they never fall out of the meta. There's so many things in this game when it comes to support units that they don't really fall out of the meta. Her just being a healer and being the support unit and having the damage ups as well pretty much makes her, I want to say, a modern day Haruto or even a modern day Mako, which is extremely good, by the way. Very strong units, right? These are characters that left monumental footprints in Grand Summoner's history. And I expect Summer Chloe will be one of the better support units and be on the list for a lot of people to be who's the top 5 units in the game. I feel like Summer Chloe may be on that list somewhere. Either way though, that's gonna be it for this video. That is all I have to say about this unit. Absolutely insane character. I wish I would have got her because I would have loved to have her for Mono Light. Be extremely happy if you got her as a brand new player. She is insanely good. And if you're someone who's a veteran player, hey man, I already know you're gonna get a lot of use out of her, especially if you love using Mono Light. But thank you all again for coming out. It's been Boy P. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.